marker down lane on the right. Yeah, definitely. I think do you have anything a little softer? Yeah. Well, no. I mean, on ball-wise. What's your step down from that? Try it. Try it in that same spot. As long as you don't see that hockey stick. The same spot. Yeah, I'd wait. It wasn't like, no. So go 3 right and throw the same shot. Move 3 boards right with your feet and throw that same exact shot. Right over that down marker. personally, I like that one better to start with. And then once you see the transition, then you can start feeding it a little bit more right with the other one, and it'll pick up nicely. But yeah, just stay a little bit soft on the back end there. Yeah, just wait for the screen.
All right, bowlers, please hold up and practice. Make sure all pin spotters are respecting the number one position. All I ask is if you are frustrated, please do not hit, kick, or damage any of the equipment in the center. Please make sure we show respect to the center. If you need an outburst, go outside, scream, and then come back in. All right, guys, if you want inside action, now is the time. I'll give you to the middle of game 1 because action does not start until game 2. Good luck.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bowlstream TV, and welcome back to Sun City, Arizona, Lakeview Lanes, for the second annual CBE 10K Cactus Classic, live and in living color. It was a great show, by the way. My name is Emil Williams Jr. Pleased to be back with you. A very interesting and intriguing lane condition, folks, and I'll put that on the screen for you in just a little bit. Hello to all who are watching. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, to make sure you are sharing and have shared where to watch. Share this link, share the channel, subscribe if you have not already. One squad today, but there will be 4 squads total. We got a full day tomorrow. Actually, we've got about 4.5 squads if you include the Desperado, which will be tomorrow night. But A squad is first. Again, 8 games of competition. There are guaranteed spots on the line to advance to Sunday's round of 32, or sorry, not round of 32, I beg your pardon. 32-player match play bracket. Top 7 in each squad will advance. So we'll have 28 squads, or 28 players, excuse me, from A, B, C, and D. A shot there from Cortez Schenk, unfortunately resulting in not the break he's looking for early, but the good news is it's game 1. And then we'll have a few players, 4 specifically, to advance from the Desperado squad again tomorrow night. Chris Mays in front of us. Mentioned Cortez, and just like that, Cortez making him look easy. Last time I saw Cortez actually in person was the New Mexico Open, I believe, last year, which he was the victor. Wesley Lowe on this pair as well. Miss Zweig is watching. Hello to the Zweig family. Shout out to Princess Leia. Matt is beginning on, thought he was on the high end of the building. He'll be making his way down here in a bit. Let me get you a link to standings and everything you'll need from that vantage point. Hello to Andrew and Dylan and Ben. Appreciate all of you on this wonderful Friday morning or afternoon now. It's a good day for bowling. It's a good Friday afternoon. JD. Thrilling. Speaking of the New Mexico Open, thrilling championship match last year between those two, JT and Cortez. Look forward to seeing you again, JD. See some early troubles here, but this is to be expected. We'll get you the link first, and then we'll talk about this lane pattern. If you haven't seen it already, it was posted on the or in the Complete Bowling Events group. Here's Kyle Ponzo stepping up on lane 6. See the sponsors down lane. Big early thank you to all of the sponsors too. Chuck's Painting, Apparel EFX, H. Buick GMC, Brunswick, Tinback, Bowling Solutions. Good afternoon, Jared Bear. You know, it's funny. Sometimes you know, first squads to me, in my experience, now not bowling but watching from this vantage point, sometimes you don't know what you might get in the first squad. Sometimes the field is very strong, especially if it's on like a weekday. Sometimes it's not. You know, players maybe can't get off work, etc. So you know that Friday is a travel day, and they bowl their squad or squads on the weekend. Well, when I looked at that roster this morning or late last night, shot there by Chris, I said, whoa, this is the squad. Top 7 again automatically advance. There are re-entry opportunities, so someone could re-enter in B squad, C squad, or D squad tomorrow, and they could try their hand in the Desperado squad if they don't make it in those particular instances. And nearly a made 4-7-10 from Chris Silva. Nice pitch there by Wesley Lowe. It is a very nice indication, certainly obviously on the talent here in the Phoenix metro area. Of those who certainly live or grew up in the area and are still here, bowling for an opportunity at 10K later in the weekend. Nice shot by Ponzo. That link I just posted should get you to essentially the tournament bowl page that will be filled with standings, rosters, the squads, and etc. Marcus Haley on the left lane here. Chris Mays got that purple hammer out. quick look here at what we're bowling on. Again, 35 mils, 42 feet. Very interesting graph and shape, right? Initially, I'm like, well, I don't know where players might play. They might play all over the place. But Kyle's able to get it back, or has been able to be getting it back from the gutter. That time, obviously, a little too sharp off the spot. There it is again. Anticipate seeing a lot of super washout type leaves, some 2-pin leaves, some 2 8-pin leaves. A couple of good shots there. Marcus missed a couple of spares. Wesley Lowe out of the slow wheel and nearly left the 7-10 into his right. We'll take a look at Jacob Buttram here in a second. But a nice double here from Chris Hayes. Again on the squad, Jacob Buttriff, Rick Darnell, Tim Eichhorn, Felipe Espriu, Brian Halen, Marcus Haley, Michael Haugen Jr., Matthew Holmes, Kevin Jenkins, Wesley Lowe, Chris Mays, Mark Mazzulla, Rich Miller, Cesar Padilla Jr., Kyle Ponzo, Ryan Riley, Cortez Shank, Chris Silva, Ed Smaglick, Greg Thompson Jr., Kyle Wakefield, Cam Weirson, and Matt Zweig. That's just a tough tournament field in general. This was just one event. This is just one squad. Make that 3 in a row for Chris. Eventually we'll have Theo Duthay joining us, of course, the tournament director. There is friction out there. And both Mike Deermeyer, shout out to Mike and the wonderful staff here at Lakeview Lanes. He was talking to me yesterday about just house characteristics, and there's typically some friction here at Lakeview Lanes, so you keep that in mind as well. Pattern is still just 42 feet, so medium. It's a hard medium pattern, right? But it is inching toward it being a long lane condition. That one never read the lane. It's still great to see. Just watch Cortez Shank bowl, man. He does some things I literally, every time I watch a bowl, I just, in my head, I go, I just don't understand how he does it. How is he able to do that? I'm going to have to check out Dylan Taylor's Facebook, or I'm sorry, YouTube profile based on the chat. And based on the chat, survey says 4 in a row for Chris. Super washout make for Cortez. Jacob Buttriff, front 3, 9 spare, 9 spare strike, 9 spare strike. Wesley Lowe, good shot. And Wesley can get into the 220s. And Jacob Buttriff just split the 8-9. So he's got a chance to be in the 240s with 2 in the 10th. We'll see if we can take a look at that 10th frame and line it up properly. Cortez and Wesley are two players that, for me personally, you know, when you work in this industry and you watch youth bowling as much as I do, and have in the past, you get familiar with the names of the young players and the young future stars. And man, they just continue to grow, expand, and continue. Another great super washout conversion. There's going to be a lot of those. If you listen to me at all, whether it's Bowl Stream TV, Bowl TV, whatever platform, you always know I'm on the lookout early for common leaves. So super washouts are going to be one, because it's super easy to miss the head pin. I've been saved of 8 pins, but I know as soon as I open my mouth, we're going to have one coming up. Hopefully it's not for Chris Mays. Looking for 5 in a row. Good balance. Oh, and a late love tap on both the 7 and the 10 for Chris Mays. His brother will be bowling, I believe he said tomorrow. And we might see the Mays brothers perhaps advance to match play on Sunday. You see Kyle flirting with the channel. He's going to be able to save 190 with one more here in the 10th. Oh. Well, I don't know if Chris got in the brackets, but he's going to be off to a good start. Hopefully, he didn't catch Jacob Buttriff. The side action struggles. Both Chris Mays and Jacob Buttriff struck. Let's take a look at Mr. Buttriff here in a minute. His final shot. Jacob's going to be in the 240s. And there you have it, folks. 248 for Jacob Buttriff to start game number 1. A squad CBE 10K Cactus Classic. And right now that does look to be the high game of game number 1, with Hunter Mays second on that list at the moment. Very nice 221 right there.
You're B. You're going that way. That's right. Yeah. You just yeah, I keep feeding it to that middle, the dark arrow or dark board down lane.
But so they all there, so they go like this and this. Feed it to this one or that?
To the one on the outside.
I believe left lane moves left and right lane moves right today also. We double check that because Wesley Lowe is moving over to 5 and 6. Looks like Chris Silva is going to, nah, he might be waiting. Eric, I'm going to take your word for it on that. I'm assuming that that meant, or that's a type of cactus. I am intrigued if there is like some historians regarding cactuses. I'm all about it. Wonderful masking units here at Lakeview Lanes. I wanted to match that feel this year too. Shout out to Noel Shuck, who helps create some of the thumbnails and lower thirds for me. We're talking about trying to let's get the cactus theme going a little bit, and we got it. Final couple shots here. Jordan Asberg checking in. Coach, how you doing? Congratulations too, by the way. I saw your new coaching venture with Matt. Hope everything goes well. Hope you guys get a lot of lessons and be able to have everything you need. All right, high game there, 209. And back to 5 through 8. And we will see Jacob Buttriff here. He will get us started coming off 248. And you see you see a little bit of hang already. That's what Wesley Lowe is experiencing a little bit too on that pair. Again, there is just one squad today. There also is a Pro-Am tonight, though. A lot of our local professionals will be competing. Jacob Buttriff being one of them, I believe. Brianna Cote also will be competing tonight. The 2023 U.S. Women's Open champion. She'll be in the Pro-Am, and she's also bowling the tournament, and I believe at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's what I got to talk to Theo about. Hey, man, the 7 a.m. squad. We got to talk about this, brother. I'm just playing. But 3 squads tomorrow, 7, 1, and 6, if my memory is correct. And then the Desperado squad at night. So full day of bowling tomorrow. All right, Cesar Padilla Jr., Mr. Ponzo, Mr. Buttriff on 7 and 8. And over here on 5 and 6, we see Ed Smaglik. And always remember him from his collegiate bowling days at Purdue University. I saw him last year bowling the tournament. Right here, the inaugural at the time, CBE Cactus Classic. There you see that hang. It's tight on this pair, 7 and 8. Wesley Lowe had to, I feel like he had to go even a little bit slower to try to get his ball to make the move on 7 and 8 specifically. Chris Silva, again, and Wesley Lowe rounding out the players here on 5 and 6. Hunter Mays, who just shot 236, as you saw, he moved over to 3 and 4. He's got a chance there, Chris. Oh, that's a good shot. Let's see some plus numbers for a lot of players. This is again, we're only through a game and some change, and yet to see kind of that first real transition. But this looks like a condition that is much tougher by the look of the graph than what it might end up playing like. Now, again, we've only watched 13 or 14 frames. that possibility is always looming, which is somewhat troublesome, right? If you pitch it right, or you think that was a good shot, which it looked like it was off the hand of Ed, super washout city. So we might do, looking at an over-under on how many super washouts and or washouts we might see in this tournament. Ooh, nice spare. Well, not the super washout, but that's the second one he's made. So for those of you watching right now, give us let me get your early thoughts on this lane condition. If you had thoughts before we started bowling, and if you said, all right, I think the pattern will play like X, Y, and Z. Is it playing like such after watching it for a game and some change at this point? Or is it too early for you to tell? We got some smart people in this chat right now. By the way, make sure you guys have subscribed. If you haven't, hit the thumbs up, please. Would thoroughly appreciate you. Well, it's interesting, right? Every pair you go to, and I don't know, certainly, as well as some other players who are bowling about Lakeview Lanes, but that 7 and 8 pair just looks like the one where you've got to be a little bit extra from a patience perspective. 'Cause I thought that one was really good from Jacob Buntroff. It still almost didn't make it up the hill. We got some good comments here. Andrew said that from the lane graph, looked like they would play a little longer, in his opinion. You know, I think we are seeing it a little bit though, Andrew, honestly, but I think it might just be, you know, pair to pair in a sense. Like, because 7 and 8 is kind of playing a little longer, slightly. There you go. Boy, wow. Pins almost didn't want to fall. Brian says, seems to be what I expected, but the transition will likely be channel your inner Ja Rule. It's murder. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Never do I look forward to watching transition, but I will say we've watched Kyle Ponzo now a game and a half. We've seen the lefties in this area and the righties to a degree. You know, the furthest left we've seen a righty, that was a great shot there from Caesar. I mean, that was about 15, 16-ish. Chris Silva around 12, 13-ish, I think. So that could be helpful doesn't look like everyone is, you know, kind of trying to do all kinds of things to figure something out to get a good read. Now, if this hooks, now that's trouble. If that's hooking for Jacob Buttriff, that could be trouble. Eric said the shin will give a bad over-under. I agree. Rev Storm says Lakeview has the quickest back ends in the valley. You need 42 feet to make it play like 39. That makes a lot of sense. JD says transition might be a bear. Looks to have some room on the ditch. Wonder if it will open up games 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, I think it could. Have to assume that many of our B squad, C squad, and D squad competitors are watching, and I'm going to say hello to all of you. And we'll ask you to share if you have not already. Like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Maybe some of you this evening. Yes, he did. Eminem's top 5 for me. He ended a lot of folks. Brian Bledsoe with the comment of the day so far. You know, where is Ja? Where is Ja Rule so I can make sense of all of this? We might need him to make sense of this transition as it begins to take place in a couple games.
Oh yeah, you did.
I don't know if I'll make it that far.
Listen, man, when great bowlers smile after a Brooklyn, you know it's tough. Oof. Caesar, nice shot. He's looked very good here these last couple of shots on the right lane. Got some good scores brewing though on from 9 through 12. I'll take a look at that here in a sec. Wow. It shows just how difficult this lane condition really is, right? Now, Jacob was just on the left lane. He saw it get a little hook from the gutter, right? And he probably got it there just a hair earlier than he did this previous shot. But you saw how long this shot went as opposed to the last time he was on the left lane. That's at least the second super washout, but the third washout that I've seen Ed make today. We're only through 19 frames, or 17 frames, excuse me. Cortez Shank has moved over to 9 and 10 and is clean through now 7 frames. Nice from Caesar. Quick look at 9 through 12 here. Jacob did strike. Felipe just missed a little bit right. Just to his right. Rich Miller, who shot .221 in game number 1. Mentioned Cortez Shane clean through 7. Rick Darnell rounding out the trio on 9 and 10, and another washout make. Boy, I'm calling it now. It's going to come down to a washout make to win this tournament whenever we get to that point on Sunday. Ugh. And man. Oh, when you work hard to get back into position to save a game, and then you just wrap a mean 10 like that, that's hard. You guys know it though. And Cortez just still in a rough 9-pin. I'm trying to remember if this was the event that I feel like Cortez maybe struggled in his initial qualifying squad. I feel like it took him to, I might be confusing events, but it took him to like a re-entry squad late, or maybe even a Desperado for him to get it done. That's hooking. Oof. Pin in front of the 8. So 248 and possible 203 for the first 2 games for Buttriff. I like Mr. Ponzo's game here. He's tall, which I'm tall too, so I tend to pay attention to other players who are tall and how they get to the line. Like Ed, for example. Ball change, I think. Could somehow save 180 though with 2 more in the 10th frame. While the pattern is certainly difficult, I do think there is one calming presence, if you will, and that is the players know that they do have friction. Like, it is there, but you've got to be smart on how you get to it. It's like a GT2 out putting in work early. He's going to enter the right of your screen. There he is. GT had a great CBE Classic. He got to match play, and I think he lost early, but he was one of the higher seeds. I feel like he had an honor score. I could be wrong. Okay, thanks, Coach. I knew I was knew I wasn't too far off base. It was like one of those rare things. Both those cats struggling. I had to bowl a Desperado just to get into match play, but they made it.
Anybody's using this chair at all? Sorry. Thank you.
GT2. Well, another one for Mr. Greg Thompson Jr. You see Shank just to your left there, and smack dab in front of your screen. Well, I don't know what GT2, actually, in fact, let's look at it. Or let's refresh and see if we can look at it. There we go. GT shot 188 in game 1. All right, we got scores pinned atop the chat. That is the direct link to the standings. 5 through the middle. Haven't seen 5 through the middle today. Oh, no, that's not true. A couple players have left 5 through the middle. We've seen 5 to the right a lot. 239 for GT2. Ryan Riley can get to 179. Ryan Reeve, by the way, missed you. Well, I'm glad I can help you, Ryan. You're my guy anyway. But how many people are at work today? I mean, I guess it is Friday. Michael Haugen Jr., 245, down on 1 and 2. All right, 168 in the near 2-4, 8-10 conversion. We're on to game 3. Well, you get a chance to see Kevin Jenkins the first time make his way on to Bullstream TV. We'll see Jacob Butcher for the second consecutive time. Ed Smaglett moves over to 7 and 8. We welcome Rick Darnell to 7 and 8. All right, so for the first time, we've really seen someone make a big jump left. And it looks like Caesar's just continued to migrate left and try to open it up a little bit for himself. And now he's on a pair for at least this game with 2 southpaws. We will accept that comment from Craig Elliott and Craig Elliott only. What's up, Craig? Craig was Craig, where are you this week? Delaware? That sound right?
Why, you don't think you have a chance?
My dad was kind of iffy because I've went to every JV team. I've only won 2.
Seems to be the right move here for Caesar.
I mean, at least you're going, then are you going to the
That's right. A couple regionals. Sounds like one was already complete. The doubles, I think.
I was gonna say.
Reed. Bang.
No, not.
Much of he already looks like he's working his way to a point where he might be getting real comfortable. I'll have Theo back on to or on for the first time at some point today, and he does a very kind of unique way the seeding does work. But 7 players, no matter what, will advance from each squad. So we'll have 7 who will automatically advance to Sunday's match play bracket. Although speaking of Belmo, I haven't read the feature, but I did see that there was a nice feature written on Belmo from GQ, so I do look forward to reading that. There's actually some really good stuff too in the latest issue of Bowler's Journal as well. Good shot. Felipe early doubles, 10 pin. Meanwhile, yep. Butcher, you just started counting at some point, right? It's like counting money. Every time Jacob strikes, you just peel off the $100 bill. Theo Duthe out grabbing game 2 standings. He hopes to join us around game 4-ish. Hello, Mary. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you subscribe and you got a notification that we went live this morning or this afternoon. We will be live very early tomorrow. So if you are on the in the Central Time Zone or the Eastern Time Zone, tomorrow morning is definitely for you. And obviously, plenty of Mountain Timers and some Pacific Timers who are going to join us. That's I was going to call it a good break, but it's a decent break now, just a 3:10. But I was flirting with disaster. CBE 10K Cactus Classics, the 2nd annual event. Last year's event was held in September. In its inaugural year. led by, again, Theo Duthe. Shout out to all of the sponsors. Chuck's Painting, Apparel EFX. Ackland Smith Realty, Tinback Pro Shop, Ramsey Auto Center, Brunswick, Oasis, Pet Grooming. Yates Buick GMC, David's Desert Chapel, and Tat Desert Southwest.
Except when I'm bowling against him, and I can really rep
GT2 tossing it over the right gutter. On what is a 42-foot lane condition. But if you look at that graph, if you want to play one, you can. You got to be good at it, though. Big game opportunity here for Caesar. We are moving right along. Oh, nice one. KJ clean through 7. Other players who we will see throughout the weekend. Let's see, I mentioned Brianna Cote. She's bowling tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Chris Anaya, Brighton Bobbitt, Joy Uriel, Andrew Kane will bowl in the morning. He's probably watching now. Hello to the Kane family. Anthony Cando, Tracy Dumas, Michael Fitzgerald's bowling tomorrow. Keith Fung, Joe Grondin in the building tomorrow. Matt Jones. Ooh, that's 7 a.m. squad. I haven't even finished it. That's already a yeesh already. Greg LaPointe, Mark Learn, Chuck Lucas, Sean Manning, Jonathan Mayer, Ben Perry, Charlie Price, Art Burnell, Brian Richardson, Ron Schloss, Tony Schroeder, Jack Sullivan, Eddie Van Daniker. Where's that my guy, Jack Sullivan? All right, looks like we do have game 2 standings. Again, Chris, that link is pinned atop the chat. If for some reason it is not there, just let me know. Jacob Buttriff plus 51 after 2. He's the leader. followed by Rich Miller at plus 19. I'm sorry, plus 32. Greg Thompson Jr. at plus 27. Michael Haugen Jr. at plus 26. Felipe Espriu plus 23. Mark Mazzulla at plus 19. 7th, Chris Mays at plus 5. And those, that top 7, the only players right now plus through 2 games. Tim Eichhorn at minus 19. Kyle Ponzo minus 24. 7th and 8th respectively. Wow. Gregory Thompson Jr. just made the, was that the 8-10? That was a bounce. You may have saw it on the right of your screen. Wesley Lowe has made a big jump right and kind of wheeling it around 4th arrow now. Meanwhile, Cesar Padilla, a chance to get into the 260s with 2 more in the 10th frame. There's trouble. GT popped out of that one. He'll take the break. Wow. Wow. Well, it's a nice way to end the note right there. Caesar missed the head pin right. It's a big spare. Boy, that's a tough one. He shoots 230. Open in the 10th, 2-7-2s for Caesar. See if we can get a look at what we just saw here. Let's see. Let's see if it works today. I think it might work. It's working. It's working. Oh, we missed it. No, it didn't work. We'll try again. Keep going. Keep going. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Ed trying to find something here. Back over to GT2. Some of the things that GT2 can do with a bowling ball just because of his physical stature. Still, at this point, I've watched him bowl not a gazillion times, but enough. Just like I was talking about with like Cortez earlier. How he does some of the things he does. Watching GT2. Talking about tall players, obviously. Maybe the tallest in our game. Wow, 5 again on the field for GT2. 220 for the Ohio native. Scott, yes, it's very rare that you see Ed struggle. But certainly the lane condition is right. The lane condition is not immune. They say, hey, doesn't matter who you are. I feel like Ed had the first few games maybe, or there was a stretch I feel last year during the qualifying that weren't kind to him, but he was able to figure it out. Nice shot there. Mr. Riley on the fill. 174 for Ryan. Again, that group led by GT2 and his 220. Felipe ball change on the field to check something out. It'll give him the 192. All right, we're officially now on to game number 4. Looks like we might have a bit of a delay. Because there are players from 1 and 2 who need to go to 3 and 4. I think that might have some small effect, I think. When we can start? Maybe not. 7 and 8 might be ready. GT2, KJ, and I think Ed will be bowling on 7 and 8, so we should be underway shortly. Interesting, Hunter Mays over on 1 and 2 right now. He just went. Just saw him toss a shot that was looked like 5th arrow. And when he started on the fresh in game 1, he was on 5 and 6. He was around 3-4 on the purple hammer. Not throwing urethane there from that deep inside. Meanwhile, Matt Zweig, the big 5-bagger. Matt Zweig going to be in the 220s. Finishing up on 1 and 2. All right, we see Rick Darnell to start us off on 5 and 6. Reach game 4. My name is Emil Williams Jr. If you are just joining us, 1:16 Mountain Time, and wonderful Sun City, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. Lakeview Lanes, second annual CBE 10K Cactus Classic live here on Bowl Stream TV. Our new group of players include Cam Weirson, again I mentioned Rick Darnell, Mr. Gregory Thompson Jr. is, as he always does, got a lot of fans in the back marveling at how fast one can throw a bowling ball. The oohs and ahs from the spectators here at Lakeview Lanes. Ryan out at 10 Backs Bowling Solutions. He's a little further left now as well.
Excuse me, sir. How do you pronounce your last name?
Desperado. Yeah.
Felipe.
There's an accent on the U.
Hey there, Cargie.
Bang. If there ever was a bowler, whoever matched up perfectly to the bang call, it's Gregory Thompson Jr. He come up with a lot of things to say about the way his ball interacts with the pins. And it's generally not a friendly interaction. There's no asking for tea, do you want to go out for coffee? Flowers, nothing. It's like you try to be nice, but the pins, or the ball looks at the pins and says, nope, I'm good. Did not push there for Felipe Espriu, is his correct pronunciation, the last name. Jacob Butcher now moving over to 3 and 4, still sending pins. Good pace of play, all of the pairs with 3, I believe. Nice contingent of certainly righties, but lefties as well. Wesley Lowe, Jacob Butcher, Kevin Jenkins, of course, in front of us right now. There is one lefty whose name I did not catch. Right now bowling on the high end. Irish Bogey checking in. Early 4th of July wishes. Well, Irish Bogey, how you doing? Zweig playing him in a similar fashion that GT2 is playing him. Matt's moving right, so he's going to be on 5 and 6 here coming up next. Nice shot. You see what Felipe is doing. He's not doing a lot, too. Right? Trying to keep the angles really in front. Keep the ball really in front of him. Push. It is me, Irish Bogey. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you're getting well soon. Big double there for Mr. Riley. GT2 just gave that frame that look as he walked off the approach. While Ryan Riley, see if he can turn 2 into 3 here. All right, Mr. Riley, he's got something brewing. And all of a sudden, GT2 missed that one right and up the lane. Average podium and family's doing well. Thank you for asking. Kids are growing at a very fast rate. In fact, the oldest will be 4 in August. The younger will be 3 in December. And it's a fun time. It's a fun time to be a dad. Wife is great as well. My mom just turned 70 years old. Sisters just turned, well, I'm not going to say their ages, but they got a year older. But they're still very, very young. And now we're all good. Thank you. Maybe a ball change there. For GT2. Appreciate all of you who are watching at work. Hopefully you're not, getting in trouble. Your boss or your leadership team is not checking too hard at your desk, in your cubicle, or in your office. Well, just like that, and with the score update to Garner as well, we welcome in the tournament director of the 2nd annual CBE 10K Cactus Classic. Theo Duthay joins us now. Well, maybe, because he can't hear me. I wonder if I can hear him, though. Just talk.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. All right, 1 second, good people. Well, Theo, as you know, whenever you think you've got it all figured out, you don't.
Nope.
In this business. So, since you are here and back with us, how you doing?
Doing all right. Just the beginning of a stressful weekend, but this is what we all look forward to.
I see that you had a Game 3 update, I believe, in your hands as well. So I'll let you do the honors first, and then we'll get into, of course, the tournament.
Yep. So we have Jacob Buttriff doing Jacob Buttriff things. He's leading at plus 78. Mark Missoula showing the kids how it's done. He's at plus 65. He's one of our seniors. And we have Gregory Thompson at plus 47 in 3rd. Another senior, Rich Miller, in 4th at plus 25. Another senior, Michael Haugen, at plus 23 in 5th. And then we have Felipe Esprou from Tucson at plus 15. And then Wesley Lowe rounding out the top 7 at minus 17. We have a few that are really close to him, though. We have Cesar Padilla at minus 22 and Brian Halen at minus 24. But we have a lot of games left.
Ooh, good call. Thanks, Eric. That's been chilling in the preview mode for now 7 frames without that graphic change. There's always something that gets you. It doesn't matter how perfect you try to be. There is no perfection in this thing. I try real hard.
So this is pretty exciting. We got Jacob's 379 spare on.
Yes, even watched the
Video.
replay of it as well. Like 2 frames before, GT2 had made the, I think it was an A10.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't throw it hard at all, so.
Yeah, and I don't know how he left it. Because I don't think it was in the traditional sense. I think, you know, maybe it was like the 2 was up or something, 2-4 was up, and that was the end result. But and my angle was off too, so it may not have been an 8-10. But I just saw his ball hit the 10, bounce, come back on the deck, and deposit whatever pin that was.
Very
that was
nice.
still remaining.
GT doing GT things. So far, the scoring pace is what I was hoping for. As we talked earlier this morning, it's not a large squad, but this is a very loaded squad.
Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah.
As we talked about some of the names in this roster. Now, of course, those who are watching, and if you're just joining us, you heard some of the names that Theo just talked about are in the standings currently.
Yeah, and I mean, outside of the cut line, we have Ryan Halen, Matt Zweig, Cortez Shank, Kevin Jenkins. And we got some good names out there.
I anticipate, well, as I look over, he just left a 2.7, but he had a 2.30, but he left some out there. He had 2.72 counts. Surrounded by 9 strikes, 1 of course, and unfortunately in the 10th frame.
Was this Cesar?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about this pattern. You're gonna, you may strike a bit, but when you leave something, they may not be as easy. So spares are key, and they might not be easy today. I've seen some designs out there.
Well, the super washout has been very, very common so far. Both lefties and righties have left that. Time to get off this pair. GT2 shoots 160, and on that fill shot, saw it make the big jump left. A lot of righties have started to make that jump left. They started at the end of game 3 in preparation for game 4. Saw some folks kind of moving left on their fill shots. And if that's the case, we'll see someone like Matt Zweig in a minute who still might be one of the lone individuals still trying to play him up the gutter. If that is indeed the case, if he still is there when he gets to this pair. Meanwhile, Ryan Riley.
Look at Ryan with a big 7-bagger going. Ryan is one of our tournament sponsors. He was sponsoring last year, and he returned again this year. He owns 10 Back Bowling Solutions, which is located inside AMF Peoria or Bolero Peoria. I don't know what they're calling it now. Ryan's one of our regulars. I was actually his best man in his wedding.
How about that?
Yes. He's an all right guy. And he's got his first child on the way very soon.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's big time.
Very excited for him.
Excited for him, and who else?
And Annie Riley.
That's right.
Yes.
I believe she's listening and watching right now. Hello, Annie.
Annie is definitely the cooler one in that family.
Typically, when two do come together, it's the other that's really cool.
Do you have a link, or where's the link on Facebook?
Oh, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it.
All right, nice 244. That'll help him out. He was sitting at -90. Gonna cut that in half now.
Annie, I think this was the one. He was waiting for you. Almost like Three's Company.
Had a little hook spot. It's gone. What the hell?
It was a pair with 2 on 9 and 10. They are done. 177, 165 over there. Looks like Kyle Ponzo is down on 11 and 12 now. Rolling with Mark Missoula.
Mark's one of our leaders right now.
Hello to Chris McKeon. Good to see you again, my friend. Appreciate you supporting as well, and not only supporting me, but supporting this tournament. $10,000 to the winner. And unfortunately, it's going to be a new champion from what I understand. The defending champion, Darren Tang, unable to compete this year due to injury. But you never you never want to hear that.
No. I would have loved to have Darren back to defend his title, but health is always way more important.
Could be Matt Zweig. He's trying to save 150 next door.
Yeah, he just figured him out the last game and shot 220, but this pair's got his number.
Cam will get that strike on the fill. Felipe been bowling pretty well, but a couple of 3 counts. And again, this pattern, very easy to do. You throw really good shots like that, you get rewarded most of the time so far. I've noticed through almost 4 complete games. But like any tough condition, execution is very, very important. And the slightest miscue at the bottom of the swing or at the release can result in 5, 4, or 3.
Yes.
We haven't seen any 2s or 1s.
Or 0.
Or 0s yet.
I saw a 0 from Kyle Ponzo.
Okay. And he was getting some early bounce off the gutter on the fresh.
Yeah, I think there might have been some urethane that went down there that could have possibly made it a little tougher to stay on the gutter.
Here's Mark. Cannot get the 10 to fall there. That's 11 and 12. And there's Kyle, as we talked about. Both of y'all know I'm sure the anticipation was reaching excruciating levels as you got near or closer to the date for this event. Decided to move the date up a little bit as well. So what's been going on? What were you looking forward to, obviously, for round 2, if you will, for the CBE 10K Cactus Classic?
I mean, just looking to try and grow over the years. You know, we need to encourage bowlers to travel here. I know it's hot, but we're inside of a bowling alley. It's not like you're spending your day outside. But for us to be able to grow, we had to move out of September, just so that we can have stuff on Friday. You know, summer leagues are a little easier to say, hey, you're not bowling this week.
That's a good point.
Rather than on a fall winter league. It's a little more difficult to tell them, hey, you got a week off because of something else.
That's a good point. Certainly understandable, too, because if I recall, it was pretty busy that Friday.
Yes, I had 3
Winning.
lanes for
Right.
sweepers. 3 pairs for my sweepers. So, and the rest of the house was full. I mean, Mike Dermeyer, the manager here, he does a great job filling this place up with leagues and open play from the community members. So it's definitely one of the busy centers.
Five and 6, 7 and 8 back at it here. Matt Zweig has joined us. Brian Riley will move over to 5 and 6 along with Gregory Thompson Jr.
See if Ryan can continue to chip away at what he started with. And that's the thing, when they're this hard, you can afford a couple 160s. And early on in the block, it gives you a chance still. You can really just chip away with, 2-0, 210. If you get lucky to pop off a 230 or 240, you're going to jump.
Matthew Holmes joining us as well.
I'm going to take a 5-minute break to go get scores for this game, and then we'll be back.
Okay. Oh, boy, just split conversions galore. Nice job by Matthew Holmes. See if we can go to the bank again and cash in on Matthew Holmes there. Nice. Big move left for GT2, and so the righties have gone for most, not all, but for most, extreme to extreme in this situation, because many were near the gutter, like GT2, for example. He's made the big move left. I mentioned Hunter Mays was around 4-5 to start, and this was game 1, and he was in 4th, 5th arrow game 4. Chris, that's a great question. I would just say from this squad alone, just from this squad, Jacob Buttress bowling, Gregory Thompson Jr. bowling. In fact, let's look at the top 7 again after 3 games. Jacob Buttress, Mark Missoula, Gregory Thompson Jr., Rich Miller, Michael Haugen, Felipe Espriu, and Wesley Lowe. Buttress at plus 78, Missoula plus 65, Thompson Jr. plus 47, Miller at plus 25, Haugen plus 23, Espriu plus 15, and Wesley Lowe is minus 17. There will be some changes. GT shot 160, Desperado will dip into the negative territory as well. But Buttriff will be, you know, if you're talking about favorites, Buttriff, Greg Thompson Jr., Michael Haugen Jr., Wesley Lowe Jr., Cortez Shank struggling a little bit, but still with some time to make up some pins and get himself into this top 7 to advance to Sunday. Other notable names, again, plenty of players to bowl. If you check out the pinned link that will get you to the scores, you'll also be able to check out the full roster as of now. See some other players who are scheduled to bowl throughout the 3 squads tomorrow. Brianna Cote and Corrine Acuff are going to be bowling tomorrow. Separate squads, but both will be competing. And if you follow the PWBA Tour, you know that both players are having great seasons, each in their respective right. Brianna Cote just won the U.S. Women's Open. Corrine Acuff made the show at the USBC Queens. And they both will be bowling again tomorrow. Separate squads, but they will be competing here at the CBE 10K Cactus Classic. So the favorite list is it's still TBD. I mean, Russ Oviat's bowling. He finished second last year.
Is that good?
Yep. Perfect. David Haynes is bowling. D-Ron Booker is bowling. Money. Brett Wolf is bowling. There's only one Brett Wolf, right?
Yes. he may have won something big at one time in his life.
The Brett Wolf. He bowled last year, didn't he? Or am I misremembering that?
I think he did. Can't remember that far back. Too much of it, at least.
Kyle King back at it this year as well. Hopefully Kyle is feeling good.
He's been bowling very well lately. He's healthy, and a healthy Kyle is a scary Kyle.
That's great. When he bowled last year, we were talking about some of the health things he had been going through and was still going through at the time. My guy Ari Wilson is bowling. Yeah, that's whew.
David Haynes is on that list.
A lot of great individuals we're going to be watching.
Yes. I enjoy seeing a large amount of talent. And
It's
I don't
fun.
make them easy.
It's fun, and
Yeah.
exactly, it's difficult. Nice shot.
I'm sure Brianna's looking forward to it after 56 games on absolute brutal U.S. Open.
Well, I'm happy that U.S. Women's Open did not end this week,
Yes.
as opposed to, I guess, yeah, last week it ended. So she had a full week
Yeah.
of recovery.
Yeah, we had a tournament last weekend up in Prescott. And
Did she bowl?
She texted me and said, "I will not be bowling." Understandable. I think she earned a break.
Oh, I mentioned 8 pins earlier. I hadn't seen one. And
Ouch.
Cam has done that to me. First 8 pin I've seen so far. And you see Matt still at it on the gutter.
I was watching that U.S. Open show, and I mean, Brianna's like a sister. We go way, way back. And I don't know what happened, but when she won, there was some onions being cut in my house or something. I don't know.
Just happened to be cooking at that time.
I mean, I don't know where they came from, but no, it was very exciting seeing such a close friend accomplish something so big. So
Couldn't agree more. It was there were tears everywhere, right? And you know, there were every emotion. Obviously, the winner, for Bree, of course, Clara finished second. Again, it was a great event, as it always is. You just never know how things will turn out.
It was very exciting seeing that their match play and cashers round were on very tough patterns. So you didn't see anybody just all of a sudden start averaging 230, running them over. So that was very enjoyable.
Carl, that's right. It is a great roster. I feel like I should no longer call him Carl. Just got to call him Agent Ong.
Agent Ong.
And the Agent Ong Open.
Yes, I'll be helping with that one. Carl reached out to me because I feel special that some people, when he was putting together that idea, some people said, hey, you know, he asked who should he have help him, and everybody recommended me to help him, so it's pretty exciting. People believe in me enough to recommend me to help run more tournaments, so we're looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Yes, that is October 19th through the 22nd.
Get an Emil sighting twice in Arizona.
We'll be there, and I'm always happy to come to the Phoenix area because I know there's good people here. You guys love bowling, and typically speaking, the weather's always solid. Now, I'm not a heat person.
Neither am I.
And, you know, I was so busy that I told you a couple months before the tournament, I was like, this event, I'm like, oh, snap, he moved. I forgot he moved the dates, right? So I'm just going to make sure all is good. And then he said, yep, it's going to be, I forgot how you phrased it, but basically the sentiment was it's going to be hot.
Correct.
Not quite September where the temperatures were a little lower.
Right.
But it's all good. As you mentioned, we're inside the bowling center.
Yeah, you're only outside to walk to your car, to the AC.
Yesterday.
Attempt to not burn your hands.
I was going to say, right? I was getting some out the car this morning, and my leg touched the car. I think it was last night, actually. And I was like, oh. I had to move away.
Yeah, the metal on the seat belts does not feel good when it touches skin.
Those of you looking for the roster link and or standings, the best way to get there is this. I'm going to drop that link again. This is specifically for scores, but once you click the link, you will then see the ability to check the roster, squads, etc. So you'll be able to have all of those things at your disposal by clicking that link. Just got to look up above the standings. You'll see roster, and you can scroll down. Wow, Brian Halen just left a mean 5-7 on lane 11.
Yep, you can check out standings from there, the roster. You can also click on brackets and see how bowlers are doing in the brackets as well. And if you are looking at these standings and you see some bowlers that have asterisks next to their name, the asterisk is just a note for myself of who got into the super high game pot. That way it's easy. I can filter the highest player of that game with an asterisk won the pot.
A quick 4-game update. So if you have utilized that link, you'll see the scores are updated through 4 games. Jacob Buttriff plus 81. Mark Missoula second at plus 65. GT2 looked like he was applying some super glue.
He's got a little blood on his finger. He looked at me and said, no excuse, but it hurts.
Well, we might have to ask him to maybe we can get it to like 18 miles an hour. Maybe as opposed to 20. I hope he's good, though.
He'll be good.
He's bowling far too well. Oh, how about Matt Zweig? Talking about flirting with the gutter.
A few years ago, the first time we had an end of the year major, it was for, I want to say like $3 grand to win. And Greg got to a point where his ring finger was so damaged and swollen that he didn't put it in the ball, and he still finished top 4.
Wow. He's so talented, man.
Extremely.
And people know that already. I'm not saying anything that no one knows. But you guys get to see it up close and personal a lot.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
This game, it's got the feel like it's got a lot of ebbs and flows to it, but I look around and there are a few scores, or potentials of scores, I should say. There's a string or two. Matthew Holmes picked up that 248.10, and he might turn that into 250.
Very nice.
He's got to throw 2 in the 10th to get there. Trip 4 for Matt Zweig on the come up.
Looks like some of these guys are starting to figure him out a little bit. But just when you figure him out, then there's going to be transition.
Speaking of Matthew Holmes, here he is, folks. Lane 8. He's in the 240s.
Matthew's another one that sitting at minus 97.4, but if he puts up 250, that's going to jump him.
That looked like a good shot from GT2. He thought it was as well. Was left with a 245.
We were talking about Ryan's big 240. He went from, I think he was in 20th or 21st, and now he's sitting in 9th. So quite a jump with that 240.
What's our high game of the day? It's a 248, right?
I think it's 248.
Yeah, now Matthew Holmes. Proper pin count, but obviously he'd love 255 here. But that's going to move him into that high game of the day. What is the super high game pot, by the way?
So with the entry, we include a regular high game for every bowler. It'll pay every game. And then the super is an extra pot. They paid $20 to get in. Anybody that's in that, just game 7, the highest score. We had 10 guys in, so we're going to pay 2 spots. So it kind of makes up for the day. If you had a bad day, but you hit that one game, put a little extra cash in your pocket.
Nice. Nice game by Matthew Holmes. 255.
New high game of the day.
And with that free entry into the high game pots, probably gonna have himself a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Additional. What a game, though. So between he and Zweig, now as you see, GT2 has reverted back to the gutter. Right, he's found the right ball to get himself back there. And now for some of these players, this game 6, 7, and 8. Either trying to run down this number or stay in it at this point, obviously. And Zweig, who had a tough start, 168, 167. He followed with 227, double back again downward, unfortunately, at 151. And is trying to find just something that is consistent for him, but I think he's found it. Again, Jacob Buttroff, your leader after 4 games at plus 81. The top 7 will advance from this squad. This is the only squad of the day. We will have 3 squads tomorrow, so all day bowling tomorrow here at Lakeview Lanes. Appreciate the schedule there. I did joke earlier, though, that we got to talk about these 7 a.m. squads.
I used to start work at 3:45 in the morning. So 7 a.m. was middle of the day.
I think we've all had, well, I should say that. Not everyone has had the experience of working at, 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. But I actually, one of my first jobs post-college was being a car shuttler for National Alamo at the time. And I did work the early shift. I think I started at 5. I am the opposite of a morning person. But I got up there every day. Big 4K was in for GT2.
We do what we got to do to pay the bills.
I went from being a broke college student to still somewhat being broke.
I went from 3:45 in the morning and then got moved. I applied and got hired to another position at PetSmart in our real estate department, and my boss goes, "Does a 7 a.m. start work for you?" And I said, "I get to sleep in? Sure."
There are some cool things, though. I was watching ESPN radio this morning, but any morning show in the media typically is 5, 6, whatever it is. That wake-up call is somewhere between 2:30 and 3:30. But that's a prime spot, a prime gig you'd love to have. Big shot there for GT2 as he is he's trying to get through it, folks. He's got 3 more games, but that ring finger, as you see him kind of blowing air onto his finger after every shot.
Yeah, he's one that won't give up, though. If he has to, he'll take his ring finger out and still be extremely talented.
Well, he is 5th after 4 games at +7. He's going to save 180, barring anything weird. All right, 184.
Matt Zweig's going to put up a 220 here. Missoula is going to shoot his first sub 200 game. Looks like 176.
Theo, why was kind of adding, or having the ability, I should say, to add a squad very important to you?
Because eventually I'd like to be able to have 150, 160 entries. And on top of that, it made it a little bit easier, too, to determine the seeding into our bracket. Because last year when we only had 3 squads to determine our top 8 seeds who get the 2 buys, it was easy to say, all right, the top 2 off of each squad, but then the top 2 third place people out of 3 squads got 7 and 8. So this year with 4, it's so much easier to do it that way. And this year we added the 4 squad, makes it a little easier for that, allows us the opportunity to grow Hopefully word gets out, continues to get out. Gave us a chance to add a pro-am tonight so that the local seniors can come out and get to bowl with some of the talented guys that we have in our field. And for some reason, they all were really happy when they heard Brianna was coming.
I was going to say, I did hear like a specific request earlier today. Someone specifically asked about Brianna Cote. I mean, which is great, right? I mean, obviously, and not every city or region is blessed with, you know, talented players like that, right? Like you guys are blessed here in Phoenix with a group of players that continue to bowl and bowl often.
Yes.
As well, and not every city, not every region, you know, has that, can stake that to claim. Typically speaking, you know, you get a couple, right? At least, you know, 10, 12, 15, 20 is like, oh.
Yeah, you look at our monthly tournaments, and I mean, heck, the field's almost like a regional with how much talent is in the field. And really, anybody can step up and win. And this year, I mean, Matt Jones has been dominating. He's got 3 titles in the 11 tournaments. He's been battling real close with Brian Halen for the points lead, and with his win up in Prescott, he may have all but locked up Player of the Year.
So I assume, is Brian now kind of a resident, local, if you will?
He is.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, look at y'all. So you just keep adding bowlers.
And I've heard rumors of another player moving out here. I'm not going to say a name just because I personally have not spoke to this bowler, but the name I've heard on the grapevine, very exciting to have yet another player. And it's not another male player. We have a female player that I've heard is going to be moving out here.
Well, I don't know. I know Carl's in the building. So it sounds like they might need a home to live in. So y'all need to holler at Agent On.
Yes.
Get yourself a house. He'll take care of you in their real estate department. And another 8-pin to the right by the same person, actually. Cam Pearson left another 8-pin. We did have the pattern on the screen, as you guys saw. So it is, again, 42 feet, 35 mils. It looks, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks just jumble-ish with a lot of oil in the middle of the lane. But as you can see, there is friction. I said this earlier, Theo. I mean, I think in my experience watching, especially high-level bowling, as long as players see friction,
there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Absolutely.
They know that they can then kind of maneuver what they need to do, where they need to go, angle-wise, trick it, whatever they got to do to utilize the friction to their advantage. And obviously to get the ball to go through the pin the right way.
Correct.
So there is friction, but it is a game of Tetris on how you get there, because if the piece is the wrong way, if you wait too long to flip it upside down, you're going to get 5.
That's one way to put it. Looks like Matthew Holmes has figured something out here.
I don't know where Matthew started, but if he's been playing the gutter, or at least attempting to throughout the entire time. But this is exactly when the time when you want to find him. Spare by Missoula.
That 3-6-10 conversion looks somewhat similar.
That's how you win the U.S. Women's Open.
That is.
I got to tell this story. I don't know if Bree is listening or watching. Maybe I'll save it.
I think she's putting in time at B3 right now.
Ah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Good call. The Calderones. I got to get over there.
I haven't made it out there yet, but I would like to. I just personally don't have a desire to practice.
Well, that's right. No need to waste anybody's time. Zweig now with 3 in a row. I saw Mike and Brandy at the Queens, and we were talking, and he knew I was gonna be out here now twice, essentially two opportunities to figure out a time to get over there, and not to bowl, just to check out their cool business and show my support. And what time we get done? We done like what, 4?
Yeah, I think so. We're through 5 games, and it's only what, 2:11.
How's the Phoenix traffic? That's should have saw the deep breath he just took.
You know, if you take the 10 going that way, it's not too bad. Coming the other way can be a little rough. But I don't think going east is too terrible that time of day.
Nonetheless, shout out to the Calderons. Got a way to get over there and say hello. If not this week, but in October.
It all really depends on if the roads are actually open or not.
Aha. Sounds like Chicago.
I feel like I've lived here since 2007, and for all 15 years, every road has been under construction.
Definitely Chicago. Stay away from the Kennedy, folks, if you're ever there. But sometimes it's hard to do that because I'm sure most, like any normal or especially metropolitan cities, large urban areas, you need that expressway or highway to get where you need to get.
Correct.
Sometimes it's unavoidable.
I'm going to take a 5-minute break here to get the last couple scores, and then we'll be back.
Okay. Zweig stepped off for a minute, wanted to reset. It was the right decision because that resulted in 4 in a row. I don't know if the Zweig family is watching. Maybe Princess Leia has got a few minutes to spare at the USBC Women's Championships, which I think coming to an end pretty soon, maybe another week. She's done a great job there. Those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Matt's sister Leia is handling business in the media department at the USBC Women's Championships. So she's been in Las Vegas since the start, or really since the beginning, or before the tournament, I should say, before the start of the tournament. Covering the event, capturing all the great stories, the lead changes, the wonderful stories about why our great women and even those who just enjoy coming to the event, capturing those stories and presenting them to you in both the video and print form. So shout out to Leia, doing a great job. Matt's got to get that one to hook. Looks like Cortez is making his way back to us here, so we'll see him on 5 and 6 in game 8. Appreciate you, John. Always making sure people hit that thumbs up. It's a good opportunity if you are watching. Let's take a moment, hit that thumbs up. I would love a sub. We're here all this weekend too. All 3 tomorrow. Well, 3.5. You got 3.5 tomorrow. B, C, and D squads will bowl. And then the Desperado 2 in the evening tomorrow night. And then after all is said and done, we'll know our 32 players that will bowl during Sunday's match play portions. A couple of good breaks for both Holmes and Missoula. See anything interesting as you went down to get some standings there? Or I should say enter scores, Mr. Duthay. Hook a little. Wow, that hooked a lot. Holy snikes. Oh.
I mean, outside of Matt Holmes shooting 250, there really wasn't that many big scores. There's a couple 220s, but there's a lot of low ones. I thought this cut would have dropped a little more, but I think it only went down like a pin, or maybe even up a pin. However, it's tightened up a little bit though, and we lost a couple players from the plus side.
Well, we did. Buttripp's still the leader, plus 82.
That may or may not make me happy when I see that scores are minus.
Well, it's only one squad. The good news is,
it's a loaded squad.
It is a extremely talented field. So I think you can decipher certain things as a tournament director. Mark Missoula at plus 41. Michael Haugen Jr. at plus 35. Cesar Padilla Jr. or Cesar Padilla at minus 4. Greg Thompson Jr. at minus 9. Someone that might have been Dylan Taylor who said if your name ends in Junior, it's an instant cash. So, and I'm on board with that because I'm Emil Williams Jr. So yeah, I'm with it. Wesley Lowe Jr. 6th at minus 17, and Rich Miller is 7th at minus 20. Again, the top 7 advance automatically to Sunday's match play bracket. Missoula looking real good, consistent. 212, 207, 246, 200, and then we saw, as you mentioned, his first game sub 200 in game number 5. Ryan Halen though went spare strike, spare 3-bagger, and another single pin. He is 9th at minus 33 and looking to get into that top 7 quickly. Felipe Espriu dropped from that top 7. He's 8th at minus 26. Matthew Holmes is in the mix after that 255 game, and he's still pushing here. He's got a couple breaks, but he's utilizing it the way you should. Ryan Riley, that 244 put him back into the mix as well, so he's right where you'd want to be at this point in the block. Tim Eichhorn, we're watching right now on 7 and 8. He's minus 59. Cortez Shank is minus 61. Matt Zweig is minus 64. Chris Mays at minus 85. A lot of stuff going on here. Speaking of Cortez, just struck on lane 1. 240 is still a possibility. For Cortez, speaking of.
Yeah, if Tez shoots 240, that will most likely jump him into the number or get him really close.
Kyle Wakefield is, I mean, honestly, even at minus 120 with now 2.5 games to go, that's not impossible. But he would need some help and certainly 2 big games.
Well, he's found a pair that he really likes. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at his Weig's score over there. This is the kind of scoring pace I like, though. You got a handful of guys that pop a number, and they're in it. These patterns typically don't allow for very much separation, regardless of how much talent you do have in the field.
You know, in my experience too, watching 8-game blocks is just long enough to see the roller coaster, right? It's not 5 games, it's not 6 games, which still feel more like a sprint to a degree. That 8 games is, you know, you can be patient to an extent, right? Someone like Matt Zweig, who struggled early, but he's now figured things out. So he knows that he still has the opportunity because there are enough games left. 6 games, it's a much different situation.
Correct.
Can't afford 2 bad games in a row, games 1 and 2.
Correct.
I mean, you can shoot, you know, 1,100 for the next 4, but I don't know if we're just giving out 1,100s.
Not on something like this. I mean, we have one player in the field that has not had a sub 200 game, and it's not like he's running away with it.
That's true.
And Jacob's only at plus 82. He got all of that in 2 games, realistically, and just grinding the rest of the way.
Ooh, I'm going to give Matt Zweig a lot of credit right there. He didn't stick the landing. So there was a moment of probably mental desperation right there. Like, oh, Lord, like what is about to take place? I was actually, you know, holding my breath for him.
You know, a 5-pin isn't so easy on it. Ryan Riley just opened in the 10th for a 206. Cortez over there grinding still with a 205. See where Zweig can get to. He's got a possible 246 on the board.
Ooh, I felt that one like he was back at Arizona State. That's how good he threw that shot. He's working.
That game I dropped to minus 50. All the way up until then. Yeah, you gotta fight out of it.
Brian Halen's going to be in the 220s.
Looks like Kevin Jenkins got a 224 down there.
KJ trying to get back to a spot again with 2 games left. Now you feel like if you can maybe chop off 75, he's going to be at minus 103. Maybe you can get into the minus 20s, right? We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, Zweig trying to beat everybody to the punch. He's now in the 240s.
Huge game. That pair's been pretty good the last few games.
It was interesting games 1 and 2. It was specifically interesting for the lefties on the pair. Butcher started there. Wesley Lowe started there. I'm sorry, Wesley Lowe started there. Jacob Butcher caught it in game 2.
And he only shot 2-0, right?
Yeah, you could just see there was just some hang. There were some spots. Cortez, not lefty, of course, but he started on that pair as well. And there were a few shots he thought were good that just continued to not see the pattern, not see the spot, I should say. It saw the pattern, not in the right way. 244 for Zweig. Wakefield.
Yeah, we've had 2 or 3 240 pluses on that pair, though. Games 3, 4, and 5. .188 for Mark Missoula.
Final shots next door from Michael Haugen. He made match play, and if I recall correctly, round of 8, I think.
I think he was round of 4.
You're right. Round of 4, yes.
I want to say he lost to Darren.
Yes.
Because I believe
it was on 3 and 4, I think it was, or 1 and 2. Yeah, 3 and 4.
I believe Russ took down Simonson.
Yes. Good memory. I would hope so, tournament director.
Every now and then I remember something.
We're on to game 7, folks.
At home, I can't remember anything.
Well, listen.
But I could tell you something from 15 years ago that happened in a bowling alley.
Every bowler's got at least a story that they can revert back to that happened 15 plus years ago and recite it as if they were in it live again.
Yes, absolutely. I got a couple of highlights like that. My favorite was shooting 879, and I did not hit the strike pot.
Did you really shoot 879?
Yeah, I was good one time.
And you didn't get in the strike pot, or you didn't hit the strike?
I didn't hit it.
So you missed it by 1 frame or something like that?
I struck 35 out of 36 times and did not hit the strike pot.
That one time. Wow.
Yes. I had 300, 300 again. And I'll never forget this. I had bowled nationals at the Cashman Center in Vegas. Drove back that morning, passed out all day. We bowled the 9 p.m. squad on Friday night for our league. Shot 300, went outside, called my mom and said, hey, shot 300. Cool, do it again. I said, okay, I'll try. So I shot 300 again. I go and call my mom and I said, hey, I shot 300. And she goes, yeah, you already told me. I said, no, I did it again.
That's great.
She goes, well, do it again.
That's a great reaction.
So I had the front 8, and then I stuffed an 8-pin to lose strike pot in 900.
How old were you?
I don't remember. I want to say I was 21, 22.
How much was the strike pot?
It was over $2 grand.
Okay. But at a 21-year-old,
That would have been nice.
$2,000.
While I was in school, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
And then a guy hit it a couple weeks later, shooting 640. So, felt fantastic.
That would be me. I would have been that guy.
And the guy made sure that I knew.
That would not have been me on that part. I would have been respectful. I might even gave you $10. Like, man, you earned that strike pot. You should have got more.
The best part of it was the following week I came into league, and they said, "Hey, Theo, you're not getting into the strike pot?" And I said, "Nope. I'm taking my $2 to the vending machine, and I'm getting some junior mints. I'm going to get something for my money this week."
That's fantastic.
So, all right, well, it's been good chatting. I'm going to go get these last scores, and I think we got another special guest coming in for the last two games.
For Game 7, we'll have you back
7.
on for Game 8.
Perfect.
We can talk about the standings at that point, and then
Absolutely.
see what this cut's going to be like.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you in a game. All right, joining us here, Mark Missoula, Rich Miller, and Tim Eichhorn on 5 and 6, Brian Halen, Michael Haugen Jr., Kyle Wakefield goes over to 7 and 8. Oh, the comments on this that was I guess that didn't really hit me that he. I think if the strike pot had been like 10K, like it really would have registered with me. Because 2K, I was like, you know, that's still, it hurts. But at 21, 2K again is a lot of money. But looking back on it, especially if you guys thinking it, where's Scott Van Pelt when we need a good bad beat? I'm going to fill our next guest in on what we were talking about. May have heard it, but I appreciate him tuning in and being here this week. We mentioned him earlier. Well, we welcome in Carl Ong into the Boldstream TV booth. Carl, first and foremost, how are you? And thanks for hanging out and supporting this wonderful event.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it. It's hot outside. It is hot outside. So I'm an Arizona native, though, so I'm used to it. But it's still something to get used to every summer.
We had a heat conversation a little bit ago, and I'm not a big heat person. But I know that there's typically not a lot of humidity associated with Arizona heat. And so I used to be in the sense of doesn't matter about humidity, right? If it's 110, it's 110. But as I've gotten older, I can't appreciate a 110, even though I don't like it. A 110 with no humidity versus the 110 with 98% humidity.
That's a thing.
It is two completely different things.
It is truly a thing. I just got back from Orlando a few weeks ago. And
exactly.
100 degrees out there and 100 degrees out in Phoenix is two different things. 100 degrees out there feels like it's a 180 in a sauna.
Yes. the clothes just kind of just stick all on your body.
You're never out of a shower.
You never really get the clothes off.
Right.
Because they're stuck.
You always feel like you're in a shower. So I get it.
Carl, we also talked about Theo's involvement and my involvement in your upcoming event called the Agent Ong Open, which will take place in October 19th through the 22nd. And certainly while you're here, I want to get your kind of early kind of info, if you will, and tell the viewers on what the event is, what you're looking forward to, and how they can be involved.
Well, thanks for having me. So, Theo is he was instrumental in, helping me put this thing together, along with a lot of great bowlers. Just to mention a few: Andrew Kane, Robert Smith, influences with talking with people like Sean Rash. These guys knew that I was interested in putting a tournament together for a little over a year now, and just collectively getting together and just trying to take bits and pieces of great tournaments that we've all either participated in or been around, including some international influence. So that's kind of how this brainchild got put together, and with the support of my family and a lot of the bowlers in the area as well as all over the U.S., here we are. And it's coming in October, so we're ready to have you back out here. So next time you're out here, it'll be definitely cooler, mid-October, so it won't be.
All right, small blip there. Looks like we are back on board. It's obviously hard to put a tournament together. What's been some of maybe the best parts so far? You guys still a long way to go before we even get there, but what's been some of the best parts for you?
The collaboration and the feedback that I've gotten from the bowling community. Honestly, it's kind of been a fun ride so far. Just picking the brains of anywhere from your average league bowler all the way to professionals that are out there today and legends that are maybe past their prime but still actively competitive in the sport of bowling. So just getting feedback from all different walks of life and all different skill levels. It's been nice to get that feedback, and it opens your eyes to what tournament bowling could be, and trying to put that all together and seeing if I can put together, a good tournament that caters to the actual bowler, not something that's maybe dictated so much by the TD deciding, everything. It's just more of a collaborative effort. I mean, ultimately, a format has been laid out and it will be followed, but
right.
It was a collaboration for, a decent amount of people that kind of took the best of what we thought was the best of both of our worlds and put it together. Obviously, can't appease everybody. Everyone
right.
has an opinion, and rightfully so. But so far, the feedback has been positive. So looking forward to that. But that's probably been the best part, is just being able to work with yourself and Theo and just, really just trying to, and seeing the fruition of it, right? Obviously, we're still a few months out, but watching it grow and having entries come in and seeing the bowlers from so far, I mean, we got everything from local here in Phoenix all the way to Boston so far.
Boston?
Yeah. So, and a few states in between so far. So, for being so far out, it's definitely, the feedback's been positive, and the entries continue to grow.
We got some standings updated as well. Thanks to Theo Duthay. I'm going to show the Agent Ong flyer here in a moment. Nice shot there by Brian Halen. There it is on the right of your screen. Again, in partnership, in conjunction with Complete Bowling Events, it is a major on the CBE schedule, so you get double points for those individuals who are members. Another great opportunity, folks, at $10,000 in the Metro Phoenix area.
Yep, and low to cash is $550.
So if you got some time in October, come on out. All right, standings after 6. Jacob Buttriff just continues to be mellow. Yeah, he had shot 248 out the gate, 227 game 3, and he's been managing from that point, really. Another 2-0 game, he's at plus 86. Mark Missoula second at plus 29. Michael Haugen Jr. third at plus 17. Cesar Padilla Jr., who throws it very well. Like what he's been able to do these last 4 games, plus 15. GT2 with the ring finger that has not been kind to him these last few games. He's hanging in there at plus 3. Brian Halen, he's 6th at minus 18. Matt Zweig has moved himself into the number. Back-to-back 223, 244 games. He's now at minus 20. Brian Halen continues now. He's got 5 in a row. And Halen looking to move now into the plus category. In 8th place right now, 13 pins out, is Felipe Espriu at minus 33. Ryan Riley is at minus 44. He's just 24 back. Matthew Holmes is now 28 pins back of 7th at minus 48. Wesley Lowe shot 168 last game. He is now 11th. He's minus 49, but just 29 pins back of the number. Rich Miller is 12th. Here is Rich. That's got to get up the hill, and no love on the 10. So Rich at minus 50. Cortez Shank at minus 56. And Cortez just next door on 3 and 4. 220 is still a possibility right now for Cortez as he is about to step up in the 9th frame. Thank you, Rev Storm, Cesar Padilla. Is it Cesar or Caesar too, by the way? There is one Padilla family. You guys may have heard of him. Stephen Padilla works at USBC in the coaching world. He's a gold coach. Well, I don't know if he still holds the doubles record. He and his wife, but they did win the doubles eagle in 2009. But his name is pronounced Padilla.
It's not Padilla?
No, but it is spelled the exact same way. He's the only person with that last name that I know of who has or pronounces in that manner.
Every last name of that is, from what I've always known, is Padilla. So I was thinking about correcting you, but I stand corrected.
Well, it's one of those things, right? Until I met him,
you would never assume.
Now every time I see the last name, I almost question it first because I do know at least one other person on earth pronounces it differently. But thank you, Rev Storm. Caesar Padilla Jr. And he's a junior, so he's definitely all right with me. Carl, what have you seen from this tournament so far? I know you talked to me earlier. You said they looked hard.
I'll put it to you this way. If you make a slight error, you are in full penalty. That is what I've seen. I've seen 3 off the right. I've seen what I appeared to look clean off the hand and go super washout or Brooklyn. And it looks like it hits the same spot. So I'm glad I'm here and not out there, because that would be, I don't know. I'm more of a spectator at this point, so I enjoy watching from the back. Let's put it that way.
Thank you, Josh, by the way, confirming that Steven and his wife, Brenda, do still hold the doubles record at the Open Championships. Those of you who bowled out there, and if you haven't, good luck. If you have, hopefully it went well. You bowled, right?
I did
a couple months ago.
Yeah, don't look it up. I don't bowl anymore.
I've been there.
I enjoy, let's put it this way. I like hanging out with the bowlers and then just having a good time, watching in the back and spending time with them maybe after the set's complete. Yeah, I truly just enjoy the sport of bowling. So, oh, that's a bad spill.
Oh, Michael Haugen Jr. was able to save it at the very least before things may have been very, very difficult, at least at the worst. KJ checking in on him. Michael Haugen, he's smiling. So he's going to take a minute.
Well, I think he's okay.
And he did not foul. That is correct.
He did
Rev
not
Storm.
let go of the ball. That's
He
true.
did not. In fact,
That's talent.
yes. And the way it was going, had he let it go, thankfully he did not, because that just did not look good.
And if you could only see Kevin Jenkins in front of us right now.
Man. Oof. You know, I've seen that happen before.
And this is why I don't bowl.
And, but you know, some look so much, the severity of some who are able to do that, hold on to the ball, not foul, et cetera, and recover. But that one looked, and I didn't even have a good eye on it. Right, I was looking forward, but I just heard everyone. I heard you, and I looked at where he was, and he's sitting at that point.
Well, no, I was actually watching him throw the shot because he's been bowling well, or staying well within the cut. So I was watching, and then I realized he was on the floor, in fact, on to the lane bed.
Right. That deserves a hand clap. That's right.
Absolutely. I'm glad he's all right.
He just talked to Kevin Jenkins. He said, "Brother, that could have been bad."
Absolutely.
Someone commenting on his dismount. You know, Michael Haugen's a pretty tall guy too. He's at least 6 feet, 6'1", and so he was able to get his body, both feet on the right gutter, to get himself up and handle business. I commend him for it, and it has not stopped Brian Halen from continuing to strike.
Unaffected.
Yeah, that's a great point too, Clash, because Mike, that's how you know it wasn't an approach situation, because he does not slide, right? And if any, it is very little. He's one of the, I remember watching him and seeing, oh man, he doesn't slide, he plants, right? So someone mentioned that in the chat, that it could have been a thumb issue, or perhaps he's experienced some thumb issues earlier. That's a true pro right there too.
He just rallies.
Makes the spare. Had a decent game going, obviously. And then I know for me, first of all, the spare might have been questionable. I might have even made that spare the first time. And then to go to the next lane and throw a pretty good shot, all things considered.
Another person that plans just walked by is GT3. He doesn't really.
Correct.
He doesn't slide at all.
Correct. I didn't catch his score on 1 and 2, but he's going to probably move down to 15 and 16. So a game to go for GT2 and everyone else almost at this point. Art Missoula, he really liked that one. Inching closer and closer to earn himself a spot in the match play on Sunday. Still an opportunity. For Tim Eichhorn here, just at minus 60, but he's going to try to save 180 here. He's going to give a few back, but at least he might give himself a chance. But he will need a big game. And unfortunately, Brian Halen has missed a 3-6 in the 10th frame. It's going to put him at 232. He's going to move to plus, but of course he had an opportunity there to get to the 260s. And there's never a guarantee, but you shoot 260 there. You got a nice cushion, theoretically.
That should move you up.
With a game to go, just in case you do run into trouble. In game 8. Good questions here in the chats. And Steph Sell, appreciate you, Steph A, for joining us in again here. But I know you've been on several Bowl TV broadcasts this summer and throughout. So we appreciate you for following me here. But yes, everyone there is correct. But this is a good rules opportunity for bowling. Because Michael Haugen Jr. did cross the foul line, but he did not release the ball. Therefore, he did not actually foul. He did everything that looked like a foul, but you have to release the ball for it to be a foul.
I mean, he was almost near the arrow.
He was sitting on the lane.
Yes. His feet were close to the arrows, yet
still
he did
had the
not
ball.
release the ball. So yeah, absolutely.
If you've ever seen the Machuga flop, I would encourage you to YouTube that. And that was probably the first time on national TV that you'd had something cool happen, but also at the same time you could have you could get some definition on how the rules work.
Sure.
In bowling.
And he did it on purpose.
He did do it intentionally. Yes, it was his thing.
Machuga flop.
It's patented. It's the Machuga flop.
I spoke to him actually a few days ago. He's doing really well out in Erie.
All right, Mark looks like he is changing some tape. And so while that takes place, let's take a look at 9 and 10 here. It's Haley finishing up, but most importantly, Matt Zweig.
Was it the thumb?
Yeah, hung up in the thumb. And as I was going up, the only thing I could think of was don't let go of the ball because I don't want 0 for the spare. So I knew as long as I hung onto the ball when I came down, that I could get the throw the shot over. So that's all I was thinking about.
Impressed.
I didn't expect to get out on the lane. That shook me up when I was there.
I don't know if you heard it there, Steph, but Michael just kind of detailed it. He held on to the ball because he did not want to get 0 for that spare. That's a sign of someone who's done this a time or two. Knowing how important that spare is late in the 8-game block, trying to advance to match play.
Every pin counts at this point.
Yep. Carl, before we let you go, give us one more time for the viewers when your tournament is, where it's held, and some of the items that they may need to know before to get that entry in.
All right, sounds good. So it's going to be the Agent Ong Open. It's going to be at Bolero Kyrene in Chandler, Arizona. And the first entry is $275 with re-entries at $175. We are guaranteeing first place at $10,000 with a load of cash of $550. So in theory, you make the cut at a 1-in-5 ratio, you will double your entry. And we look forward to having 8 squads, 2 on Thursday night, the 19th, with a sweeper that evening, which that sweeper will be on pattern. And then we have 3 squads on Friday and Saturday. And we'll make an official cut score after the 6 p.m. squad on Saturday. And then we will run a 2-game Desperado late Saturday night at the conclusion of the 6 p.m. squad on Saturday, the 21st. And finals will begin on Sunday.
6 games, right? 6-game
Correct,
block?
6-game block.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
By the way. No, for the 6 games.
Oh. Not 8, not 4. And that was something that we talked about too. Was what was enough to where you get enough games in to where if you're lost in the beginning, you can still have enough time to grind it out, to find something and to make a run at it. And then what is too much to re-enter? Like how many is too many games to decide to show up for a second block.
Right.
So hopefully we give enough. And then, one last thing. It will be a complete strip and re-oil, so there is no burn squad. So those squads on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, they will all be fresh.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was Theo and I were talking about with 8 games, you can be a little patient if you do struggle early because you got those extra games. If it's 5 or 6, it's easy to press early, especially if you struggle out the gates.
Sure.
So because you got to make up those pins kind of in a hurry. But for me, selfishly, 6 games and 3 squads. Someone who sits here is excellent. No U.S. Open field.
Right, I don't envy Theo either. Between the both of you guys, or complete bowling events as well as bowl stream.
Right.
You guys put on an amazing show. This tournament is off to a great start. So congrats to Theo on running the Cactus Classic and such a great event. And I'm sure he's excited. And thank you to all the sponsors that have supported his tournament as well as mine coming up in October. So first and foremost, thank you to all the sponsors, and thank you for all the bowlers that are attending this weekend for the Cactus Classic tournament, as well as what's upcoming in October with mine. So again, appreciate you having me on, and good luck to everybody the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you back in October.
Thanks, Carl. I am very much looking forward to it, and I appreciate your conversation and getting to meet in person and chat, and definitely looking forward to October.
No, I appreciate it. Have a good day, guys. See ya.
That is Carl Ong, ladies and gentlemen, part of the tournament director of the Agent Ong Open. Theo Duthe will join us in a bit, and we'll talk about some scores and get ready for this upcoming cut number here and see what it's going to be. If you are just joining us, the lane condition is 42 feet with 35 mils. Let's put that back on the screen for you, as Chris just asked about. So there it is there. Again, this is game 8. This is the final squad, first and only squad of the day. We have 3 squads tomorrow. Tomorrow is a full day. Tomorrow is a U.S. Women's Open, U.S. Open kind of day, with 3 squads, 8 games, and with a Desperado squad on the end. Full day of both. All right, there it is. And there it went. And here is Cortez Schenk with us. You just talked about him. Michael Haugen Jr., Brian Halen. Good cross to end things. Marcus Haley, Chris Mays. We saw Chris started so well in game 1 on 5 and 6. And Rich Miller to finish things out. Again, B Squad will begin bright and early tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Or Mountain Standard Time, I beg your pardon. Right? Oh, wait. Check that again. I did a Google search yesterday on Arizona time zone, because I know that either there's no daylight savings time here, so it said Mountain Standard Time. But it's 3:01 right now. Normally I'm all over the time zone conversions, but it's very rare that I'm in the mountain time zone. See, right, so why does it say? See, that's why you can't trust Google, man. We'll do it again. Arizona time zone now. First thing that pops up. Mountain Standard Time. They even have Mountain Daylight Time here. Now I'm actually confused. Yeah, let's go with Cactus Standard Time. Chris, that's a great opportunity. Let's go with that. It's rare that I get confused on time zones because I got to tell people when to watch. And we talk about it all the time, but now I'm actually somewhat confused. Theo is back with us.
I've been here 15 years and I still don't understand our time zones. I just tell people Arizona time.
Gotcha. Okay, Jazzy J. All right, so that would mean, so if it's technically Pacific, then it should be 6 p.m. currently Eastern time, right? Which would mean that 10 a.m. in the morning tomorrow Eastern time is when we start.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Scores?
We've got game 7.
Oh, hit it.
All right, your leader still, Jacob Butchoff. He's broke the triple digits. He's at plus 111. In second, Greg Thompson with a big 240. Got him up to plus 50. In third at plus 29, Mark Missoula. In fourth now at plus 14, Brian Halen. In fifth at plus 12, Michael Haugen. In sixth at minus 21, Matt Zweig. And now seventh, your cut number is minus 30, Cesar Padilla. We have a whole group of players that are all within 18 pins. In eighth, we got Kevin Jenkins at minus 31. Ninth, Rich Miller, minus 35. 10th, Wesley Lowe, minus 39. 11th, Felipe Esprue, minus 41. 12th, minus 47, Cortez Schenk. And 13th at minus 48, Ryan Riley. All of them have a real chance.
Nice roll of the the 2 right there for Michael Haugen. I'm assuming that, and I was just about to say, I think there was a high traffic moment on the standings page because I couldn't get to it.
Well, that's a good thing.
And yes,
everybody's going there.
Everyone is looking. Now let's see where some of our players might be. KJ, he moved down to the high end. GT2 is down there. Excuse me. Rich Miller is on 7 and 8, which is perfect.
Cortez Schenk right in front of us.
Right. Felipe, he already made his way down here, so he should be on the high end, and he is. I forgot that we had math to do. I think I took my trusty notepad out. Oh, no, wait, I got it. My notebook is here. This is my customary PWBA qualifying cut score. Let's figure it out by hand. Yes, so Steph, I think the best way to describe it is where we are currently, and because of the time of the year, Arizona, essentially, from what I understand, it is basically Pacific time, which is what I always think it is, but I guess sometimes it isn't.
Correct.
But right now it is. So think Pacific time when you think Arizona. And so, yes, 7 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. That's what time we begin in the morning. The second squad's at 1?
12:30.
12:30.
Yes.
7, 12:30.
And 6 p.m.
6.
We've got a long day tomorrow.
Well, of course.
I think last year, what time did we finish? Around 1 in the morning with the
Yeah.
Desperado?
Yes, we both were back here at, I think, 5.
Something like that.
Or something.
I went home and took a nap.
Maybe it was 5:30. No, that was day 1.
Yeah, that's right. Because we didn't start until 8 a.m.
Right. So
we got to sleep in.
Saturday, we both were here at 5.
Correct. Very early day. We'll be here about 5:30 tomorrow. Last year's Desperado was extremely exciting, though. I always look forward to that.
It was. I had a moment. Ooh. Jordan and Jordan Asperger was in the chat earlier. We were talking about Cortez Shank, Jacob Buttriff, and I was like, I feel like Jacob struggled somehow during qualifying and ended up in the Desperado, and same thing with Cortez, and they both got it done in the Desperado squad.
And it was on a big game 2. I think they didn't put up too much game 1, but they had a huge game 2 that jumped them up there.
Shout out to Kyle Duster, too. I saw your note earlier, Kyle. Appreciate you. He bowling?
He is.
Okay. Again, the number is -30.
Kevin Jenkins was confirming that the Super Pot was game 7 because he shot 268.
Well, again, it's crazy. Like 2 games ago, he was -123.
Correct. We were just talking about that.
Yes, and just like that.
He had shot 224, got him at about 100, and then you said, hey, if you can get about 75 over the next 2, and we didn't think you'd get almost all of it in one game.
Now he's 1 pin back. And it looks like 15 and 16 done.
They are done down there.
I'm going to go score run. Will the recaps on the screen show you?
They should. I'm going to have these guys bring scores to me over here, too.
Well, that's nice.
That way we can get them entered. And all right, Greg Thompson had a 201. That should keep him in there.
GT finishes at +51.
Ryan Riley 178. It's not going to be enough at -70.
Actually, as the scores do continue to roll in, Theo, can you remind me and the viewers how, well, 2 things, since we got a question on the Desperado from Chris. Oh, what a shot there by Cortez. And, well, 3rd thing, Cortez, he's 17 back. He's got a chance. All right, so first, Desperado. Desperado is a 2-game sprint, literally a 2-game sprint.
Correct.
And you can enter. It's basically, you know, the nightcap, if you will.
Correct.
It's the last possible chance for somebody to advance into match play.
Correct.
2 games only, and in this case, it's going to be the top 4.
Correct.
Which will round out number to the 32. 7 will advance in each squad, A, B, C, D, and then 4 players from the Desperado, and you get 2 games to try to get what you got to get done. That's the Desperado. And then Theo, I'll have you decipher Kevin Shaw 189 from -42. Well, he's going to need some help.
He's going to need a lot of help.
Well, let's see. Cesar Padilla Jr. doesn't look like he's willing to give up any help. In fact, he looks like he's going to go plus this game. Rev Storm, there are openings tomorrow. Dio will tell you which squad specifically, but I know there are openings.
We have some room on all the squads as of right now.
There you go. Come on out, Rev Storm. And bring 3 people with you.
Yeah.
Now, one note to the Desperado, though, just to make sure I'm right. You have to have had bowled one of the qualifying squads to be eligible to bowl the Desperado, correct?
Correct. You can't come in and only bowl the Desperado.
Send them, Rev Storm. He's got a hook there, Rich. Uh-oh, and Rich looks like he's not going to have enough to pop in. Meanwhile, Cortez Shank
making a run,
trying to run it down. He's got 259 out there. Your seating, how the players are seated based on how they qualify through each squad. How does that work? Because there is a certain intricacy to it.
Correct. So the top 2 off of each squad will be seeds 1 through 8. The top 3rd and 4th off of each squad will be seeds 9 through 16. They'll get 1 bye. Top 8 will get 2 byes. And then you'll have 5th, 6th, and 7th off of each squad will be seeds 17 through 28. And then the 4 from Desperado will be the last 4 spots. And if there's any ties for 2nd or 4th or anything like that, it's broken by who had the highest game in qualifying. If we have a tie for the last qualifying spot, they will have a 9th and 10th ring roll off.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
Ow.
Cortez.
Mike Calderon's probably laughing at that.
If it wasn't on camera, we'd say it was dead flush.
Well, he can get to plus 12 if he does strike out. But I'm keeping an eye on Caesar there. And this is a big opportunity first for Cortez. Maybe again, does not get lucky this time. If he makes it, that's 247. So let's look at Caesar here. This is Caesar. He's got 158 in the 8th with a strike in the 9th. And oh, that was a good shot, as you saw.
Cortez finishing with a big 246. And he was at minus 47, so he's going to get to -1. That should be more than enough to get in there. And Halen was plus 14, so he's going to be, he had a 189, he's going to be plus 3.
Well, Matt Zweig shot 234 on that same pair. Butcher shot 222, but obviously he was the leader. And Caesar is going to finish at 207. That gets him to plus 37, correct? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Caesar was plus. Excuse me.
I think he was the number at minus 30.
That he was. I was thinking he was plus 30 and not minus 30. So that moves him to minus 23. And you said Cortez was +1 or -1?
Yeah, he'll get to -1 because he was 47, and now he is, and he shot 246.
Matt Zweig.
234 for Matt Zweig.
Should be +13.
Michael Haugen with a 215. Looks like everybody's all done with qualifying. We're going to sit here and wait for guys to bring score sheets to me, and then we'll get our standings updated.
Mark Missoula, he was in a good spot. He should have been fine either way. Brian Halen, what did he shoot? 189?
Yes. He'll still be plus a couple pins.
+3. So Halen +3 unofficially. Haugen +27. Zweig plus, what did I say? 13. Cortez at -1. Cedar at -23. Those are all players that were in the number. KJ finished at -42. Kevin Jenkins, Rich Miller did not get there. I don't know what Wesley Lowe finished with.
I'm only waiting on 2 scores, but they are quite a ways out of the number, so I'll go ahead and hit save, and we can see what our number is.
Okay.
Looks like the number jumped a bit. We are at -1 is our cut number. So we have Jacob Buttriff as our leader at +133. Second at +51, Greg Thompson. They will both receive 2 buys. Receiving 1 buy will be Michael Haugen in third at +27. And Mark Missoula at +23 in fourth. Not receiving buys, they'll be in the first round. Will be fifth at +13, Matt Zweig. In sixth at +3, Brian Halen. And your number at -1, Cortez Schenk. And then we had a traffic jam after that.
Super interesting there.
I'm going to go run down these last couple scores and then announce our cut number to the bowlers.
Okay, so we'll have the official announcement. Thanks, Theo.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you back.
We'll be back at it bright and early in the morning after the Pro-Am tonight.
Indeed, we'll see you in the morning. All right, Theo will make the official announcement here in just a second. But we'll make sure. All right, let me get you something there that you can see on screen. Another advantageous point as well is if you are, if you bowl this first squat and you make it, right, you don't have to think about bowling tomorrow. So you get your Saturday free. You know, let's say you flew in and you wanted to hang out for a little bit, get some opportunities to go, you know, check something out in the area. You can do that if you're making that top 7. You can still do it if you bowl early enough. Like if you bowl tomorrow morning, obviously you can do it. But it does look like Cortez is going to sneak in there at -1. This is unofficial yet. It's official or unofficial until Theo makes that announcement. Buttriff at +133. GT2 at +51. Michael Haugen Jr. third at +27. Mark Missoula fourth at +23. Matt Zweig. Look at Matt Zweig's last 4 games.
Your leader on the first squad at +133, Jacob Buttriff. Your seconds at +51, Greg Thompson. They will both receive 2 byes on Sunday's finals. In third at +27, Michael Haugen. Fourth at +23, Mark Missoula. Michael and Mark will each receive 1 bye on Sunday. In fifth at +13, Matt Zweig. In sixth at +3, Brian Halen. And your cut number at -1, Cortez Schenk. If you would like to sign up for a
Cortez
squad,
rolled a
or
2-pin.
ahead of
That
time
first
for
shot in the
Desperado,
10th frame.
Go ahead and let me know, and we can get you added to your squad choice.
We rolled a 2.
Also, if you have made the cuts or you'll be coming back for a re-entry, we do have the room behind my table available for leaving your equipment here if you would like to.
All right, folks, there it is officially. Again, so Jacob Buttriff and Greg Thompson Jr. finishing 1 and 2 on the squad will receive a 2-round bye for match play on Sunday morning. And Michael Haugen Jr. and Mark Missoula, finishing 3rd and 4th respectively, will finish with a 1-round bye. And Michael Haugen Jr. just told me he is a little bit sore. Wanted to let everybody know, but he is good. He's okay. But again, going back to what he said, he said he felt that he was going to hang up, and his goal was to not let go of the bowling ball because he didn't want to take 0. And ultimately, you know, he finishes at +13. No, I'm sorry. Finishes at +27. You never know how that game finishes out. He ends up making the spare, shoots 195, gets out of there with 195, and then 215 on the end to secure it. Man, pretty good stuff. All right, folks. That will about wrap it up for us today. We'll see you guys bright and early. I'm going to take the opportunity to get a little rest myself, maybe catch up on some other stuff, do a little additional work. We'll schedule all the rest of the events, so those will be readily available for you for tomorrow. So you'll see every single thing you'll need to see. We've got B Squad scheduled. We'll get C and D there along with our finals broadcast on Sunday. Big thanks to all of the sponsors here, and man, sponsors are everything to tournaments, as you know, so we appreciate all of them. First and foremost, big thanks to Chuck's Painting and Apparel EFX. Again, proud sponsors here. And then also want to thank Brunswick, MCC, Tinback Solutions, Yates Buick, West USA Realty, Ramsey Auto Center, Oasis Pet Grooming, again, David's Desert Chapel, and the Tat Desert Southwest. One final look at the standings for you. Jacob Buttriff, Greg Thompson Jr., Michael Haugen Jr., Mark Missoula, Matt Zweig, Brian Halen, and Cortez Schenk, the 7 players who advanced to match play from the A Squad here on this wonderful Friday afternoon in Sun City, Arizona. Until tomorrow, folks, again, we'll see you 7 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's what time we begin tomorrow. B Squad hits the lanes first, followed by C Squad at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, and then the final D Squad will hit the lanes then at 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's also Pacific time, excuse me. And then the Desperado 2-game sprint at the very end of tomorrow's festivities, match play on Sunday. It's a great start, great squad, a lot of talent. Some of these folks definitely will be re-entering. We'll see some of them tomorrow as well. We'll see the U.S. Women's Open champion, Brianna Cote, in the morning, also at 7 a.m. So a lot to look forward to. Until then, big thanks to Theo Duthay, tournament director here at Complete Bowling Events, 10K Cactus Classic. Big thanks to Mike Dermeyer, wonderful host here at Lakeview Lanes. Again, all of the sponsors for what they have and will continue to do for CBE. We thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. So for all involved, big thanks to Carl Ong, by the way, as well. Don't forget to check out his tournament, the Agent Ong Open. That is in October. You can find it, the Agent Ong Open, on Facebook, simply by searching Agent Ong Open. Follow that page. Make sure you like it, and you'll get all the up-to-date information on when that tournament will take place. So for Carl, Theo, and all involved here, my name is Emil Williams Jr. We will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. B Squad on the $10,000, again, CBE 10K Cactus Classic. This has been a presentation of the CBE 10K Cactus Classic. You watched it live and only on Bowl Stream TV. Good night, folks.